Hi there. It's been a while. You've gotten to see my smiling face. First, I'd like to show you my daughter. There's a wedding picture. Cool picture, right? I used to do some photoshopping, and I would buy frames at Goodwill because frames are exorbitant. Okay, back to other things. About your final project. I think seems like every session someone expresses concern about the fact that I've said you should have 10 variables. Well, it's really not as horrifying as it sounds, not nearly. That just means you have to somehow address them, some way, somehow. For example, if you did correlations with a bunch of Likert or Likert, people say it both ways, scaled items, you would just click, and there you'd have a correlation matrix with 10 variables that you could put in. You could talk about how many males and females. I apologize for the lack of sensitivity, but I can't change a survey that was done in the past. So it's basically males and females is the information we have. You could put in year in school, so there you already have 2 variables, sex/gender and year in school, and stuff like that. Just allude to it. So really, the 10 variable thing is not at all a deal. I promise you it's not. Just don't think of it as a horrifying deal. Now, there's something else I'd like to mention that I think is interesting, and people that don't have to do this kind of stuff for a living often don't think of. A difference between 2 groups and a given variable does not mean that one group is strong or high in whatever that variable is. For example, let's say that we are going to do a t-test, and we're going to try to find out the difference between males and females in terms of how much they love orange juice. I always try to bring orange juice into everything. Seems straightforward. So you give them scales. You ask them about their liking of orange juice. You might have something like, we like it, with one end of it being like it very much, like it somewhat, don't know, don't like it at all, whatever it is, okay? And you find out there's a statistical difference, and that in fact males like orange juice much more than females. But now imagine that you actually look at the means, okay? You all know what means are. And you find out that the mean for male is 2.4, and the mean for females is 1.6. That turns out to be a statistical difference. But if you were writing an article or a report, would you say, which one did I do? I forget. Males. Would you say males love orange juice? No, because they're actually still below midpoint. I mean, we have a midpoint here, which was, I don't know, or not sure, or something like that. And then we go up to like it somewhat, like it very much. But with both groups still being beneath the midpoint, would it make sense to say males really love orange juice and females don't? And I have found quite frequently that people make the very kind of mistake I'm talking about. When people don't, I'm very happy and jump around the room, enjoy. Well, in my head I do. So I hope that's making sense to you. That a difference between two groups, it can turn out to be a statistically significant difference, particularly if you have very large groups. The more subjects or participants or people, whatever you prefer to call them, the easier it is to get significance. So don't make that mistake. It may come up when you're writing. You may have to think about it. Like, do these people really love whatever it is? Or do they just like it more than the other group? Or do they just dislike it less than the other group? So that's something to think about. I have many more little tidbits like that, but I think you've had enough tidbits. So don't worry about the 10 variables. Please do them. Please use them. Please have them without worrying. And remember that a statistical difference between groups on a given variable is different than saying that group is high or low in whatever it is. For that, you have to actually look at the means and find out. Depends what you're talking about, but usually this kind of thing comes up when you have scales. All right, I hope that's helpful. What else? Well, there's just so much, so I don't think I'll bother you with anything more. Okay, I'll talk to you later.